On this episode, we talk guide life, and a very, very special guest visits us. You ask questions, and I answer them. This is the Ask Gary V Show. Hey everybody, this is Gary Vay, Nerd Chuck, and this is episode 199 of the Ask Gary V Show. Before we get into the show, Stefan, I couldn't, yes, turn off the sound on your snaps over there. Stefan, I could not help but notice that you were wearing the Kobe jersey. Last night was an impressive. Did you see that, Brad?
I don't watch sports, but Ralph did.
Ralph?
Yeah.
Impressive last night.
Well, I mean, you give a guy 100 shots, he's gonna score.
50. Anyway, super impressive. Good job, Kobe. Amazing career. Episode 199. Super excited about that, India. Super excited because we have another guest. I will let him explain himself in a second. However, India, something very amazing is happening right now.
Amazing.
Like all-time amazing.
All time.
Your mom is here.
Mom, roll over here.
Yes, get in here.
See?
Mom, tell the Vayner Nation who you are.
I'm India's mom.
It's the best. So glad you're here. How long are you staying? For the weekend? You gonna stay for the weekend?
Just for about 5 days.
Awesome. Enjoy.
Thank
Fun to
you.
have mom here, huh?
Where are you
India,
from?
your face became the same color as your mom's sweater.
So exciting.
All right, my man.
All right.
Tell the Vayner Nation who you are, a little bit about this, and then we will get into the show. I'm actually excited about this one. I think most of the shows I've been having guests, and we've been doing a lot of guests, very thematic. I think this one is fun for me because I've enjoyed jamming with you through the years, and I feel like this is just like two business dudes gonna go through the questions. So, but first I'll let you do your little spiel, give them some context, and then we'll get into the show.
My name's Brad Grossman, and I have a company called Zeitguide, and we produce a book every year, zeitguide.com, and it's digital too. And we update it every week with a newsletter. It's a Zeitguide, meaning the guide to the zeitgeist. Zeitgeist meaning spirit of the times in German. Because of this great thing that you're doing for us by being on your show, we're giving all of your audience members a 50% discount. So if they go into the coupon code and they put hashtag AskGaryV.
Do they have to put the hashtag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hashtag.
Stefan, make sure you link that up.
Hashtag AskGaryV, you get 50% discount.
How much is it?
For the book, it's 100, so now it's 50 because there's 700 articles distilled in here, and you're in it actually. Remember you gave me that quote?
I do.
You're saying like the
It was
future.
it's the best page of your book.
It's the best page of their book. Let's get to it right now. I'll show you. Basically, you say the future of advertising, or to succeed in advertising, is that you have to reverse engineer, right?
Sounds like something I would say.
Reverse engineering attention. Yeah. Rather than retrofit pre-digital advertising techniques, Zeitguide friend and serial entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk says that marketers have to reverse engineer attention.
It's true.
So there you go.
Cool.
So, and our company is basically to help leaders like yourself and everybody in the world to stay on top of trends that are changing and transforming businesses so they're best prepared for the future.
So as you can imagine, for a lot of you up and coming entrepreneurs, what you have is time. And so you can actually go and make, now, are you smart enough to digest all that information into the important points? That's up to your skills or not, but you have time.
Right.
For the people.
While you guys have real jobs.
Right. For you, what you're selling, especially to a top premium executive who she or he is just like running their business and not in digital, not in zeitgeist. For me, for a lot of people that watch it, our life is predicated on this moment. There's a lot of people who are Fortune 500, Fortune 5000 CMOs who, they're in biotech and they haven't thought about how the zeitgeist impacts their business. Guess what? If the gal that owned the most taxi medallions in the world had been reading the zeitgeist, forget about the guide, which we prefer, but like reading the zeitgeist as a slang term, maybe she would have been the person that invented Uber. And so it's about understanding that, by the way, I never knew where the word zeitgeist came from, so thank you for that nugget.
Spirit of the time.
But it's been a word that's always, it runs in my mind quite a bit because it is the thing that matters. It's, to me, I call it the market, I call it the second industrial, the thing that's happening right now that so few people understand is that technology is gonna disrupt all of you. So bookstore owners and taxi cab and black car owners, they already know this. The people that don't know this are teachers who, because Khan Academy and Udemy hasn't fully gotten there yet, but in 12 to 15 years, there's going to be a stunning amount of people that have their children learning in that environment. Like there's like construction workers because robots may do it, like UPS and FedEx because drones or Uber will do it. Like everybody, all of us, everything is going to be disrupted.
Even entrepreneurs though as well,
100%,
right?
especially entrepreneurs. Wine library is going to be, every winery in America should deliver their product direct to consumer. All of them. Wine library should be out of business. 100%. Now the reason.
So Neil Rosenthal, he's like
he's a supplier and a retailer, but no, I mean not Neil. I mean the wines that Neil represents. Every individual winery, the producer, should go direct to consumer. They don't because they can't sell as well as Neil. They don't because they don't have operational infrastructure to create enough demand and then deploy the volume of product they make. But just to teach you about the wine world, a winery makes a bottle of wine that you buy for 20 bucks and they're selling that to the wholesaler for 8 to 10. So they're not making 20, but if they sold it to you, they could make 20. So there's a lot of money in it if you know how to disrupt yourself. The problem is most don't. Right. And the zeitgeist is.
It's hard though, like to sell direct to consumer.
It's extremely hard.
First question is, do you think big brands should sell direct to consumer?
Get out of here.
No, I'm serious.
So I think you guys know the show well enough to know that was just very zeitgeisty in itself. Is that right?
Yes.
India, we're so.
From Ben.
You literally read, you anticipated.
Well, I researched the guest and then I posed questions.
Look at that. You're the zeitgeist of the
Somebody's working. Somebody's working around here.
Right?
Yes, I'm proud. Good job, India. We're really proud of you. All right, first question.
Ben asks, do you think big brands should sell direct to consumer?
Yeah. Well, I think yes. I think Amazon is going to be a player where they're basically selling directly to consumer.
AKA
Amazon
with their
is the-
private labels, or you mean when they're selling Pepsi through Amazon?
Well, I think they're going to use Amazon as a mechanism to sell direct to consumers, but the question is, will eventually people will be like, oh, I want a Pepsi, I want to go to Pepsi.com or go to Pepsi's Facebook page and just get it directly from there. But that's not really direct to consumer either because it's going through Facebook. So, I think you still need to use these platforms to go direct to consumer.
Got it. I mean, I would say that Amazon is far less direct-to-consumer than Facebook because Amazon's actually a full-fledged retailer, and very honestly, I think a scary one for these guys and gals that are running these businesses because Amazon's got real data. In the CPG world, retail and brands, the scariest thing is when a retailer gets too much leverage. The biggest brands in the world are paying for placement in Walmarts and Albertsons and Costco's and Safeways that are very expensive. This is not the way it was 30 or 40 years ago. The retailers didn't have the leverage, the brands did. Yep. And so that got expensive. Direct to consumer is inevitable. The problem is the following. Big brands like Dove or Pepsi can't go direct to consumer because Costco and Walmart and Tesco are gonna say, what are you doing? You're not cutting us out. And so the second those companies show a move to wanting to go direct to consumer, the big retailers are gonna drop their product from end caps to the bottom shelf or kick them out of the store, which then would affect them in a 90-day period because their sales would collapse, which then would make their stock price collapse. So they're basically caught in what's called channel conflict. They can't do it. So what's gonna happen? Here's what's gonna happen. India and her mom are gonna invent the best peanut butter you've ever tasted, and they're gonna start going direct to consumer. And they're gonna sell on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook. And quietly but surely, because that's where the attention is, all of a sudden their business is gonna do $40 million, not 4 or 1.4 or 400,000. And then whoever owns, what's the big peanut butter these days? Peter Pan peanut butter? What's that? Laura Scudder's? Smuckers, right? What's Jiffy? Jiffy, there we go. Go ahead.
Well, I like, grinding the peanuts and
Too.
Whole Foods.
So whoever, let's use a soda as an analogy. Then Coke and Pepsi are gonna be like, wait a minute, what's this new, craft soda? That's doing real volume, and then they're gonna be stuck because they're gonna get squeezed from both sides. They're gonna get squeezed from the up and coming entrepreneurs that actually now have scale and use things like Uber or Postmates or whatever for distribution and use social media and this for awareness. And they're gonna get pressured from the retailers for them not to do the same. Like Pepsi can't make Pepsi Gold direct to consumer at scale. They can do a little one-off, little holiday thing. Tough.
Starbucks is an interesting example because like I just went to Seattle and I just saw their new kind of innovative space.
Okay.
And it seems like what brands can do is develop or create a new product that people don't actually know is part of the brand and sell it direct to consumer and see, like they kind of have the backup.
No,
So-
that 100% they can do that. Here's the problem. It doesn't matter what the consumer knows, the retailer. See, the thing that most people don't get is that the number one competitor to the biggest brands in the world are their retail partners. So they can't, again, at the highest levels on a board at Walmart, they'll say, look what Coke just did today. They created Schmoke or Schmogaboka.
And they're selling it.
They're selling it, and if it gets big, that's a problem for us because it's gonna build the cadence and the ability and the data to remarket to those people, and they're gonna cut us out.
Well, what do you think about the future of the store? Do you I mean, right now, all the even Birchbox, I know, or Warby Parker, who are disruptors, right? Are like right? They all want stores. I mean, it's actually the best marketing, mechanism in the world. So, do you think like these retail stores are going to continue to be the place where conversion rates are going to happen the most?
No, I think if you look at e-com, it chips away every year. 11% of the market, 13% of the market, 16% of the market. So e-com will continue to grow, especially with this. Especially our impatience, I want it right now. Like,
And
I
through
want it right
social
now.
channels too.
And whatever, right? And we're not even factoring in, it's gonna take 20 years for what I'm talking about, and by then VR will be there. So are we literally living in a virtual world and shopping in a virtual store and it's actually being physically delivered within an hour? So there'll always be disruption, but here's what I will say. They're not going away. Like stores, yeah. They're not going away. Do I think they're emerging better than ever? No. Just because Birchbox and Warby Parker have stores right now, let's talk about another thing. When the shit hits the fan, and I mean the collapse of the valuations of these super companies and these unicorns that are rhinoceroses, and I don't think Birchbox.
What's a rhinoceros? I know unicorn's $1 billion.
Yeah, a rhinoceros is what these things actually are. So I like they're actually rhino. Yeah, huh?
Yeah,
So
I like it.
you like it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
And anyway, nonetheless, I think that too many people who watch this, too many people in our zeitgeisty kind of love, we think things are binary, that e-com's coming and there'll be no stores. I mean, I made these mistakes as a kid. There's no absolutes.
There's no absolutes.
Right? Like
You got to do everything, it seems like today, right?
I would say you've got to arbitrage everything. If you can get a store location that you don't pay too much rent on, that does great branding and awareness, and you're selling stuff, mazel tov. If you can figure out a Instagram campaign that's like, you have to be agnostic. You have no emotion to where it happens, you just want it to happen.
Well, how do you afford all that though? Because
You
everybody
don't.
has limited-
You don't. Which is why
I mean, I'd rather have Ralph actually, do the real jobs than having him just like work on social.
I get it.
Like, it's
I get it.
allocation of resources.
That's exactly right.
You know?
I mean, I'd rather have Ralph do everything. I mean, he's very capable.
Yeah, he's the best.
Show Ralph, Stefan, come on.
Yeah,
I mean,
look at Ralph, look at
let's wake up here, Stefan. You still in the Kobe
our
days?
best side guy.
I'm kidding. So I think that that's why strategy is so interesting. That's why I love to do what I do for a living.
And you have to keep reinventing. It's like now you're all about Snapchat. I mean,
Whatever.
your wine,
I'm not.
YouTube.
I'm
yeah.
only about attention. Snapchat just happens to have it.
Yeah. Are you loving it? All right, next
Loving
slide.
it.
Sorry.
Matt asks, the average amount of email someone gets is 147 per day. The average pieces of mail, 4 per day. Is it time to get back in the mailbox?
Yes.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Talk about it.
Absolutely, because that's why I actually created a book, because it's actually a tangible product. It doesn't evaporate in the digital ether. So direct mail, even though I think it is customary.
Hold on. Go back to your digital ether evaporation kind of statement there. So if I got this in a PDF,
Like 140.
No, forget about that.
Yeah.
Forget about that, because that's just supply and demand economics. This is about if you want something or if you don't want something, AKA.
That's true. That's
Right?
good.
You see where I'm
Yep.
going?
If you really want it, you're gonna find it.
Correct. If I want the zeitgeist, like I'm gonna want it one way or the other. And the other thing is, I think that's talking about getting to the point of knowing about the zeitgeist. But once you know it, like to me, it's like the electronic aspect is so great because it's on me. Like I'm not carrying this fucking thing around. You carry it around.
I fit in my back.
I mean, I don't have a book on me at all times, but like,
you should have this next to you on your night table while you're sleeping.
let me tell you the greatest thing. I know.
I have your book next to me on your night
Let me
table.
tell you the greatest thing that could ever happen to you.
Yeah.
Every single person on earth has the Zeitgeist app on the home screen of their phone.
Yes.
It would be the greatest milestone.
And
in
we
your life.
keep updating. Yep.
So-
Let's do it, Ralph.
Ralph.
Everything.
What was the question?
The question was the average amount of email.
Oh, look, it's email costs $0. Fucking mail costs a shitload of money. What's his name? Matt, wake the
They
fuck
actually
up.
just reduced the price of the
2
stamp.
cents. Matt, wake the fuck up. The answer is sure, but you've got to run the economics. So if it costs $0, but you have creative costs, somebody's got to write the email, there's those kind of things. MailChimp might have but the cost benefit analysis is devastating. Go run 10,000 pieces of mail that, oh, by the way, costs you $13,000. 13,000.
Well, by the way, this is the reason why this is so expensive. In addition to the intellectual property, the reason why this is so expensive because it costs like $100 to print each one.
Get the fuck out of here.
well,
Your cost is not in the IP.
I do like on-demand
The only reason I'm not throwing you out of this room and making fun of you for a $100 pamphlet is because I know how good the IP is and the information is good, and it's why you're even allowed to sit here because a $100 book is ludicrous. And
well, now it's 50.
yeah. But yeah, be careful. I'm about to negotiate you for a 75% discount. Ralph, there's gonna be a new code. I think that. No, I think.
All right, done. Do it, Ralph. I want it to be the same price as his book, which is $18.99 or $17.99.
That's right, $17.99. You want to do that?
$17.99.
Done.
So let's do it.
82% discount or whatever. $82 off. Done. Nice work. 18. That was good. I'm excited. India, I like negotiating. Stefan, do not put up this episode until the code works for $18.
$17.99.
$17.99.
You could, use that for a stamp.
It's true. So anyway, Matt, I think, look, it's all about the end result. If it's $13,000 to send 10,000 pieces of mail in 1 in 4, first of all, I don't know who 1 in 4, first of all, that's scary to me, and I'll tell you why. It means that 80% of Americans are probably getting 1 piece of mail, and it's probably the 80% of Americans that are not gonna convert to a sale as easily as the Americans are the top 20% that are getting 20,000 pieces of goddamn mail because their data shows that they have the income to buy things. So like, we have to start grounding things in real life. I think the reason I'm so excited lately is all these businesses are about to go out of business. Like, I'm so excited.
We're talking startups or legacy or both?
There's so much bad that's about to happen.
Yeah, I know.
In business land, and especially in startup land. And the truth is, it's gonna make me feel really good. And I'll tell you why. All those same friends and acquaintances and pundits said I wasn't smart for building an agency during the boom of startup.
Right.
And I ate that. Like, you have to understand, I'm coming from.
Why did they say that? Why did they say that?
Because agencies are stupid businesses.
Yeah, but you have a different agency.
Fine, but do you understand?
Yeah, of course.
Like, why? That's why. Gary, look, you know, and you also know where you've been around, well, you know for your own business, but you also have a feel on me. Yeah. I was sitting at the top of the pyramid. Yeah. I could have raised a $200 million fund. I could have gotten $50 million for any goddamn idea I had to build a business. Do you know what would have happened if I said, I've got a tech idea for the wine business? I would have gotten $50 million in funding in 4 seconds.
So why did you do it?
Because I knew that I wanted to build practicality, not create high risk. Because all the spiel I push on you guys on Snapchat, this show, the Daily V, I live it. I live the hard work. I live the practicality.
And it's fun.
And I live below the headlines in the trenches. 140 emails, 4 pieces of mail, that's a nice little data set. What happens when you start digging? What happens when we talked about the actual costs involved? What happens when I educated you that average was predicated on the people that won't convert to a sale, and so that's it. Like it's just it's layers. Yeah. I'll be there in a minute, Tyler. India, let's go.
Michael asks, do you see bots becoming big in the next 24 months? Microsoft and Facebook are heavily investing. Will bots become a tier 1 inbound channel?
Well, they just talked about it yesterday at these chatbots on the Facebook and Messenger. I know Ralph and I were just talking about this because we're.
Oh, bots will probably make. When do you close the content on the 17 Zeitgeist?
September.
Got it.
You know, like the
Now?
idea.
Bots will make an appearance on your next one.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about bots in terms of ruining the advertising agency.
Oh, that's different. Programmatic. Yeah. These are utilitarian bots. So look, this is gonna work. I mean, WeChat and other platforms have proven this. That's right. So I'm excited. Truth is, I'm actually excited to deeply dig into it this weekend. I have a flight to San Diego. Yeah, so I'm gonna read quite a bit on that flight on just bots because it's that important.
You don't need to read. Just give me a call.
But you know this about me.
Right.
The reason I get to be quoted in your books is because I like doing the work.
Totally. You don't want the clip notes.
I don't want to read it. I want to be the content inside of it.
Totally. There you go. But so I think it's going to be really big in customer experience. It's going to be big in customer experience. Like, so you're talking to.
Oh, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be, guys. The
But are you
AI.
really want to talk to a bot?
I want to talk to who? Yeah, that was an instrument.
Right. What about like when you even credit card companies like press 1? Isn't that kind of like a bot?
We value time over human interaction. It's just the truth. We value
Not in everything though. Like we're having fun
in
right
sex.
now.
I
Right.
think we value the human interaction.
But aren't we having fun right now?
Yes, of course.
Right.
But what I'm saying is we value time. Like
Yes.
we value time.
Yes.
This is fun because I'm talking about the following. I do not want to talk to an operator. I don't. Like if it's more efficient this way, that's the thing. And so like what I think is gonna happen is we're gonna get really, really, really into AI bot culture. Like when things can be done for us, we will take advantage of that every day of the week.
Yep. Okay. When do you think it's going to happen? Like where it's going to be?
I think we're gonna feel real stuff next year. I feel like next year there will be an execution in a bot environment that everybody's doing. Kind of like a Fitbit or like or a Slack or yeah, it'll probably happen in Slack by the way from a business standpoint. But it's like think Fitbit, think Evernote, think when texting popped. Like there's gonna be something that everybody will be doing in bot form on Facebook that people are talking about, which is like. I'm trying to think of something.
Is Siri a bot or the Echo a bot?
Yeah,
Is Sarah a bot?
I mean, that gets into AI. It gets, it gets into like different stuff of that nature. But yes, I mean, and the truth is, I don't want to start pontificating here because I want to get grounded in my own thoughts on this. But so I don't want to fully answer that question. I don't know how the experts are dissecting it. Plus, I want to taste it more. But here's what I will tell you. Every TV network in the world should start creating a bot on Facebook that helps you DVR at scale, no matter where you are. If I'm having coffee with India's mom and she's like, you gotta watch Billions. Like there's things. There's things.
Talk, right.
There's things.
By the way, that's what Comcast could do to save themselves, right? I mean, the cable companies.
From Max.
Max.
Max says, Kobe scored 60 in his last Lakers game. What can we learn about business from Kobe? Thoughts on his legacy?
I don't do sports, but like ask Ralph.
Ralph, what do you think we can learn from what Kobe did? Take 100 shots.
Come on, he's actually covers the sports for me. I was a bad sports player.
Can you hear him?
You miss all the shots you don't take, and if you ever get accused of a terrible crime, buy your wife a big ring.
Oh geez, he hates Kobe.
Titles, and then you're back.
Kobe hater. Kobe hater. He's a Celtics fan? Oh, got it. Makes sense. You're a Patriots fan?
I am.
Jesus Christ.
He's from Boston.
I respect that. How old are you?
27.
Perfect. No respect for any Boston fan under the age of 34. You had it too good. You're soft. All right, listen.
Isn't your client GE moving to Boston?
Yes, they are. Here's what we can learn about Kobe. Kobe is very smart from a branding standpoint in a lot of ways. He knows that the jokes of even the most cynical of he took 50 shots last night, which I think has only happened 4 times in NBA history, so it's pretty intense. He knows something that I know, which is that part gets forgotten in 7 years. What you'll hear is what's repeated 70,000 times, which is that Kobe scored 60 in his last game. And I think some of the people that run the best brands and businesses in the world don't sweat the short-term narrative because they're smart enough to play the chess moves to understand when that wears off. As a matter of fact, a lot of politicians do that because they know that we say that negative ads are bad. We Americans, we hate negative ads. Negative ads are bad. It's the only thing we respond to. And so, I will run negative ads till your face falls off. I will take the heat for 48 hours of like, I'm running too many negative ads on Brad. I'll win the election and nobody will remember. I mean, and so I think that's what we can learn from Kobe last night. I wanted to make it valuable. I think I did a nice tie in there. what Kobe's actions were on the court last night is he knows the narrative that best positions his legacy, and so he was going to take as many shots as he had to maximize that headline because it was going to be the only thing left. And a lot of you right now worry way too much, first of all, of what everybody else thinks. Secondarily, you worry too much about what the narrative is in the short term. You know, like starting an agency 7 years ago at the height of your ability in the tech sector when the tech sector is exploding because you wanted to play a practical long game, not what people were whispering behind your back for a 12-month period.
Could I identify with you for a second? You just saw yes, I'm identifying with Gary. You just saw my mentors and the guy that I actually started my business with, which is Brian Grazer. Yes, I just saw he loves you, by the way.
Thank you.
So does Ron. And I had this job before this, and I left in 2008 as his cultural attaché. I was like his private site guide. I built that into a business where I could work with other leaders. And when I left in 2008 to start this business, people were like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, the economy's about to crash, which they were right. And like, you're basically thought of as a luxury, because I was just helping some Hollywood producer come up with movie ideas, right? But I kind of knew that the world was going to change and I would be able to become more of a necessity because everybody was going to be so crazed by knowing what they need to know. So yeah, I mean, it's taken me, it's 2008, it's taken me 8 years.
It takes time.
Right. Well, that's something you can teach then entrepreneurs.
Building something real takes time.
It really does. If it's authentic and you don't want to pollute your brand.
That's right. Mom, raising a great child takes time.
It does.
I mean, India was a disaster for many years.
Was she?
I'm kidding.
I don't remember
But it
that.
takes time. I really, trying to connect the points for other, I'm living it now with my 2 children. Like, building anything great takes time.
Patience
is the game. It's the game. Question of the day. Our guests get to ask it. You can ask them anything you want. It's a good data research thing. You'll get hundreds of comments on both Facebook and YouTube, so be strategic. Or if you're just curious about something, or maybe you want to ask, is anybody willing to teach me about sports? I don't know what you want to do, but
I guess the question is, okay, with all these innovations are happening or disruptions, and obviously what Gary's advising everybody, like if you had to think of the perfect job that you would want to have in the near future and in the long term, what do you think it should be, or what would it be for you? And and
kind of like how you thought about it.
Exactly. So, if you're in college, do you have college audience members? Right?
Junior high too.
And junior high, right? And you're saying,
and 73-year-old.
What do you want to be?
Who still at 73 can do another 20 years of working their dream thing, even if they've not done it for 53 years.
Exactly. So, I mean, when I was in high school, because I was watching LA Law and ER, I wanted to be a lawyer and a doctor. Now we would never want to be, and I would be the worst in both. But I actually was, interned at Mount Sinai Hospital one year, and I threw up on a patient, and I knew that wasn't for me. But
you saw the blood?
Yeah, it's the smell.
Yeah, I hate the
smell. It's the smell. But like in the early 90s, I wanted to be a doctor, and now I know being a doctor is, if you love doing it, then it's great, but it's really hard to do it. So like, what do you guys want to be now, and what do you think you'll have to be or want to be in the future?
Love it, brother. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah,
congrats.
great.
Continued success with this. $17.99. You keep asking questions, we'll keep answering them.